Hey guys, welcome back to Queen City Q, and today I have a little something different. I was just browsing through the meat section of the grocery store, and something kind of caught my eye. I was like, oh, what is that? And I noticed that it was pretty cheap, and that is beef back ribs. So these beef back ribs, it says that they were center cut. But I picked them up for $4.49 a pound. Now, they don't have a lot of meat, and that's okay. There's not a lot of meat on the bone, because you're probably thinking of like traditional beef ribs, where it's got like an inch, 2 inches of meat on top of the bone. With these are very similar to baby backs of a pig. You're really caring about, or all that you're caring about when it comes to the meat, is the meat that's in between the bones. So let's get this out of the package, peel this membrane off, dry it out some, wipe it all down with a paper towel, and let's get to seasoning it. Okay, now that we got these ribs out of the package, now we got to peel off this membrane. Still a little, looks like a little bit of frozen blood in there. So I just like to pat the membrane dry first before I start pulling it off. And then I typically do the paper towel method when it comes to pulling the membrane off. Let's see if we can kind of work something in here. Let's see. Can we go with this one? Let's see if we can peel it back here. Get a little bit of this. There we go. It's going now. There we go. That's pretty perfect right there, peeling that off. No complaints about that. Let's see if we can get this side. And looks like maybe able to get a little bit more out of that. And we're going to cook these at 275 for approximately 2 to 3 hours. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that. Oh, maybe. Now, I believe, I should have looked this up beforehand, but I believe beef back ribs come from the rib section of like your ribeye, your bone-in ribeye, or your prime rib. You have those bones that are underneath the ribeye, and I'm pretty sure that's what these are. So the meat should be very tender and very flavorful, very similar to what you would get in a ribeye. Okay. Let's see if this one. There we go. Tell you what, this is, oh, there we go. There we go. That was a nice good pull on that. Just throw that away. Okay, now that they're pretty much dried off, you can definitely see where you got meat in between each bone. And I don't know if you can see in between there. You know, it's not really all that thick either, but it's not like I'm feeding a whole crowd with these either, so I guess it'll be his and hers, essentially. Alright, so now that I pretty much dried off and everything, I got the Yoder going, set to 275, and it is at, looks like 219 right now, so which is perfect for us, because we'll season these up. I'll probably put these back in the fridge, let it sit for a little bit with the rub, and then we'll put them on once it hits 275. Okay, now for the rub that we're using today, we're using Meat Church's Holy Gospel. I know a lot of people for this, especially when it comes to beef, they like to stick with, you know, your salt and pepper rubs, which this does have, but this also does have sugar, which I do prefer my barbecue to be a lot sweeter rather than savory. If I want something salt and pepper, I want that more on my steak rather than essentially like smoked low and slow. I prefer to have a more sugar flavor to it and a more, you know, sweetness to it rather than the savoriness. So this has sugar, salt, spices including paprika, dehydrated garlic, celery, and a few other things. So we'll apply this pretty heavily. Now on the back side, I'm just going to do it kind of lightly. Do the ends. Now, from what I understand, beef back ribs, they're really good when you braise them. I guess the bone marrow inside is very flavorful. So if you can get some of that bone marrow out and eat it, or just have it adding the flavor, I guess when it comes to like maybe like a stew or yeah, I guess really like a stew would be good to use these in. Okay, it's smelling really good. Got plenty of rub on top. Okay, made a little mess, but these are looking pretty good. We'll let it sit for a little bit while the Yoder comes up to 275, and then we'll throw them on. Okay, we are done. The ribs are all set to go. Took just under 2 hours at 275. Now, I smoked them on my lumberjack pecan and cherry pellets. I find that that gives it a really nice, well-balanced flavor. I did sauce these ribs, and when it comes to using a barbecue sauce, typically I just kind of make something up. So tonight, I usually use Sweet Baby Ray's as a base and then add things to it. But I do want to grow my sauce collection. But for this sauce, I took Sweet Baby Ray's, added a little bit of butter, added some more of the Holy Gospel from Meat Church to add that savory flavor to it. And I also added a little bit of truff to it. The truffle hot sauce gives it a little bit of a kick. Also gives it a nice unique flavor with the truffle in there. So let's go ahead and dig right in. I finally got myself a slicing knife. It's the Victorinox 12-inch slicing knife. Perfect for Thanksgiving coming up. So let's kind of just dig right in there. Got good smoke ring in there. Cut really nicely. I mean, that looks fantastic. So let's give it a try. Really good. I think maybe could have been cooked a little bit longer to help break up some more of that muscle in there, but there is, I don't know what that is, but there is something in there that really isn't all too attractive. But the flavor's excellent. Flavor's spot on. It's a very sweet, savory rib. You can tell here you are getting a little bit of that heat from the truffle. Let's cut us another one. Let's go right here. Very good. So good, actually. I really love this finished product. Like, it's got really good flavor all throughout. You got a nice beefiness from the meat. And the Holy Gospel there, absolute killer when it comes to beef. And the same thing with the sauce. Really good. Fantastic product. Fantastic. I mean, that knife just cuts right through anyways. Absolutely unbelievable rib. You know what? I gotta get myself full-on beef rib. Do the same exact thing to it. And I swear it's gonna be mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. I know exactly what I did for all this. Wow. The flavor just blows me away with this. It's probably the best tasting beef I've done by far. I mean, I know that tri-tip was really good, but this right here, this is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I gotta get myself a nice big like dino rack of ribs and do the same exact thing, and I think it's gonna just blow your mind. Love the flavor of all this. Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Queen City Q. Wow, so good.